Alola Pokemon trainers, this is GatorX, and today I'll be redoing my island trial for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Last year this was a challenge going around similar to other ones I've done. I figured it's time to redo what my island trial would be, since now we know more about the Alola region and how island trials work. My original idea for a trial wasn't anything too special, the quality was pretty low, and I was a ghost type trial captain, which we ended up getting with Acerola. Also, with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon coming out, there is the possibility of things like island trials and totem Pokemons being switched up, so it seems like a perfect time to do this. Before I begin, I just want to remind you to check out my last video for a discussion on new Alola forms. Also, you can check out my other channels, GatorX Plays for gameplay, and GatorAce for things like anime reviews and vlogs. Lastly, I have started a Discord server which is linked in the description below. And with that taken care of, let's begin. First of all, I would be a ground type trial captain. I know that Hapu was a ground type kahuna and then later Elite Four member, but I figured she's comfortable as an Elite Four member and would have appointed another kahuna from a different type for Pony Island. Hey, this is GatorX from the future, moments after originally uploading this video where I said that Hapu was an Elite Four member. I have no idea why I thought that. I know that she moved up from a regular trial captain to a kahuna, and for some reason I was thinking she was in the Elite Four. I guess I got her mixed up with Acerola. Point is, in my idea of Ultra Sun and Moon, I would be replacing her because my idea is much cooler than anything she could ever do. Okay, I made a mistake. But continue on with the video because it's really good. The point is, I would choose to be a ground type trial captain since I feel there are some underutilized Pokemon and locations that would fit with the theme. But of course I'll get to those later. I myself will be a former Pokemon Ranger since I've always liked that trainer class. I won't be an Alolan native though. I'll be from another region. Probably Unova, or even a potentially new region based off of America. Wink wink. Personally, I really like the American Western culture, so you can guess that I'd love Paniyola Town and the Paniyola Ranch. And you're right, because that's where you'll first encounter me. I don't wear the standard Pokemon Ranger uniform that you're used to seeing. 1, because I've retired and become a trial captain, and 2, because maybe Pokemon Rangers dress a little differently where I'm from. Wink wink again. I'll be hanging out there, and when you talk to me, I'll mention how this kind of place reminds me of home. I'll also go on reminiscing about riding Tauros and tell you how lucky you are to be able to do so with the Poke Ride. Then I'll be off, saying that I hope we meet again. You may also encounter me in some other places just like other trial captains, but for the most part you'll have to wait till the actual trial to see me again. My trial won't be on Akala Island where you first meet me. It will actually be on Ula Ula Island in the Haina Desert. The path to it will unlock sometime after you've defeated Acerola and Team Skull, if they're still both there. I've always thought this place was a little underutilized, so I figured it would make the perfect place for an island trial. The setting of it really reminds me of the deserts here in the western United States. Rather than having the sandstorm weather status like previous deserts in Pokemon, it has the intense sunlight weather status, which is perfect. There are also cacti in the background during battles, and that just adds even more to the theme. There would probably be a few more changes here and there to the outside of Haina Desert. Just that there are more Pokemon breeders around to give it more of a western feel. And maybe some of the buildings are even changed. Rather than being these RVs, they would be actual western themed buildings. The actual trial will begin once you enter the first area. I'll be standing there and will tell you about the trial, which is a little bit like a fetch quest. You see, I dropped some berries that I was going to feed my Pokemon, and some of the Trapinch snagged them to bring them back to their burrows. I'll need you to go get them. This will be a little similar to some other trials, but the difference is that you'll be doing it in the Haina Desert, which is a maze and is filled with lots of pesky Pokemon. Some of the geography of the desert will also be changed, switching up the maze from Sun and Moon. More rough terrain is present also, which will require Mudsdale to travel across. There will also be specific burrows in place for each of the 3 Trapinch that stole the berries. You'll have to find each one and battle it for the berry. After you've collected all 3, that should be enough to complete the trial, right? Well, Sandile are also in the Haina Desert, and they're even bigger thieves than Trapinch. One will knock the berries out of your hands and steal them. Now you'll have to find that one last Sandile and battle him for all the berries. And once you get them back, I'll be waiting for you at the end of the desert maze. You'll find me lounged on a rock, my hat tilted to shade me from the sun. When you walk up to me, I'll jump up and greet you. I'll take the berries and congratulate you on completing my trial. But just as I'm about to hand you the Z Crystal, the Totem Pokemon will come out of the sand and battle you. The Totem Pokemon is a Flygon, but not just any Flygon, it's the leader of all the Trapinch that you've battled. There will be some changes to the levels of surrounding Pokemon and events, so that it can fairly be at about level 40. I know that Vibrava evolves into Flygon at level 45. But other Totem Pokemon were underleveled as well, just like Gumshoos and Salazzle, so I figure it shouldn't be too big of a deal. It will have a boost to its attack and will call for help from Trapinch. Flygon will know the moves Dragon Claw, Bulldoze, Rock Slide, and Sandstorm. And while Sandstorm is active, there will also be a chance that Gabite will show up as assist Pokemon. If you're able to defeat the Totem Pokemon, I'll award you the Groundium Z, after catching my breath from that surprise attack. And now, you've completed my trial. But that's not all.
These days, everyone's trying to catch Nintendo's Pokemon. So catch a Pokemon beanbag for only $4.99 with any KFC meal. Catch all 4. Better hurry up. I'm starting my own collection.
Now, battling the trial captain isn't always part of the trial, but you can battle the captain at some other time, and I'm no different. Sometime after you complete my trial, you can find me hanging out in Poniola Town again. This time, I'll be rounding up a Tauros that escaped from the ranch and was causing trouble. I'll talk about how this reminds me of being a Pokemon Ranger in my home region. I'll also mention that I've traveled many other regions and probably drop in something about how I've met Clay and would love to be as tough as him. Then, I'll ask if you'd like to battle, saying that I love the exhilaration of a good battle, but don't always get the chance as a trial captain. My team will consist of a Mudsdale, a Crocodile, and a Garchomp. Since this will likely happen a little while after my trial, and maybe even after the next trial, my Pokemon will be at about the level 45 to 50 range. My Garchomp will be holding the Groundium Z, and I'll even do the Tectonic Rage dance during the battle. After the battle, I'll bid you farewell, bringing the Tauros back to the ranch. Afterwards, you can find me just outside the Hyena Desert. If you talk to me, I'll mention something about how I've heard the legends of Zygarde, admiring it for being such a powerful ground-type Pokemon, but hating it for being a snake Pokemon, which I'm not too fond of. I found an Ekans in my boot once, and ever since then, I don't like snake Pokemon. And that's my island trial, plus a little extra, updated for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Let me know what you think, and also tell me what your updated island trial would be like. You can detail it in a comment, or I even challenge you to make your own video. Just remember not to post any direct links because YouTube will auto-flag it as spam. Remember, you can also join my Discord server and continue the discussion there. It might even be a better place to discuss your ideas. Anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like to show your support and subscribe. You can enable notifications by clicking the bell icon next to the subscribe button. This will make sure you see each new video as it comes out and will make you a member of the Chingling Squad. Anyway, this has been GatorX. Have a nice day.